Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and woo! Pumpkin was surprise. 1 second. Oh yes, okay, so welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and today is today the 29th? Let's do that again. Today is May 29th and I am going to be Pumpkin, go out the other door, goof. We are going to be doing our June TBR, and that means we're going to be pulling out our trusty Universe, give me strength. And that means we are going to be pulling out our trusty tarot card deck to help us pick some books for our June TBR. We are doing a 5-card spread. I'm pulling up a different website today to try. So this is how to read a 5-card cross in 5 minutes. And so this is kind of what it looks like. So we're going to, focus back on me. So we're going to go ahead and do that today. And we are going to shuffle our little hearts out because for some reason, no matter how much I shuffle, I somehow get like the same suits. I don't know why. I just don't know why. So let's go ahead and I've shuffled 1,001 times, yet I'm sure I will still get similar suits, but let's go ahead and lay out our 5-card spread. Shall we? Why don't you back it on up? Okay, so our cards are spread out and we're just gonna start, I keep doing that, we're just gonna go ahead and start pulling. So let's go ahead and start with our central card to get our overall June TBR vibe. Okay, so minor arcana. Now let's remind ourselves that the minor arcana are associated with the 4 elements. So the suit of swords is associated with, I think it's fire? We'll see. Air. Oh, I thought fire. Okay, so the suit of swords are associated with the element of air, representing intellect, logic, action, and power. Aspects of swords can be used for good, but can also be very powerful when used for evil. The suit of swords is a tragic tale starting with the exploitation of intellect for good and ending with abject failure and disaster when used sinisterly. So this is the 3 of swords, and the 3 is a sign of heartbreak or grief. It is important to remember that it is temporary and a normal part of life. Oh, I can see why that relates to my June. We're going to be moving at the end of the month and I'll be sad to leave all my new friends that I've made here in Dallas over the last year. So that I feel like is a type of heartbreak. So I could see how that relates to my month. But with that in mind, we've got to pick something for our 3 of swords. So something to do with grief and heartbreak. Okay, let's check this out. Well, after much delay, I've got our book here, which may look familiar because this was on my TBR for March, but I never read it. So this is The Goodbye Cat by Hiro Arikawa and translated by Philip Gabriel. Is about 7 cats that weave their way through their owners' lives, climbing, comforting, nestling, and sometimes just tripping everyone up in this heart-tugging and inspiring collection of tales by Hiro Arikawa. And the reason I picked this one is because it has like the full cycle of life, so it is going to deal with stories from birth to death. all through the steadiness and devotion of the cat. So I do feel like there will be stories of heartbreak in there, and so I'm going to choose that for our central theme here, and it's also the goodbye cat. So we are saying goodbye to our home here in Dallas the month of June, so we will do that along with this lovely book. Okay, so according to our lovely guide, we are going to start from the left and go around. So our next card is the Three of Cups, which is another minor arcana. The cups the suit of cups represents water and is representing emotions, feelings, and relationships. Cups indicate what is happening in the heart rather than the head. So a lot going on with the heart this month. So let's see here, Three of Cups. So the 3 is the card of friendship and camaraderie. It encourages a happy gathering with one's closest friends. Oh, that sounds so sweet. All right, so a book about a happy gathering of friends. Now, bear with me here. I'm gonna choose Deanna Raybourn's A Dangerous Collaboration, the 4th installment in the Veronica Speedwell novels. If you've been around here, you will know that I have been reading these and thoroughly enjoying them. I just finished A Treacherous Curse in the month of May. And this is a stretch, as it usually is, but the synopsis of this says, lured by the promise of a rare and elusive butterfly, the intrepid Veronica Speedwell is persuaded by Lord Templeton Vane, the brother of her colleague Stoker, to pose as his fiancé at a house party on a Cornish isle owned by his oldest friend, Malcolm Romley. But Veronica soon learns that one question hangs over the party. What happened to Rosamond? Rosamond? 3 years ago, Malcolm Romley's bride vanished on their wedding day and no trace of her has ever been found. Now those who were closest to her have gathered, each a possible suspect in her disappearance. From the poison garden kept by Malcolm's sister to the high towers of the family castle, the island's atmosphere is full of shadows and danger lurks around every corner. Determined to discover Rosamond's fate, Veronica and Stoker match wits with the murderer who has already struck once and will not hesitate to kill again. So, is it a happy gathering of friends? No. But is it a gathering of friends? Yes. In some respects, it could be happy. I think it matches. Next up is the top, middle. Let's go. How much I shuffle, we end up with same suits. So the Queen of Cups. Queen is caring and compassionate. She is sensitive to others' feelings and has a trustworthy intuition. Caring, compassionate. She's sensitive to others' feelings and has a trustworthy intuition. Caring, compassionate, trustworthy intuition. Maybe it would be good for like a nonfiction? All right, I figured I would go ahead and read this nonfiction that I picked up from Half Price Books a couple months ago. It's Jane Austen, A Brief Life by Fiona Stafford. And really it just kind of walks through her life in different ways. It gives a rich and sympathetic insight into a writer who has just as much the romantic genius as Keats, Shelley, or Byron, full of youthful exuberance. Intensely creative once she has found her individual voice and dead before she reached middle age. I think Jane Austen has touched most of our lives. I think Jane Austen has touched many of people's lives, and therefore I feel like she probably was fairly compassionate and sensitive to others' emotions, so we're gonna go with this one for our Queen of Cups card. Lord, that took too long. I gotta figure out what's going on with my Kindle because Girl is struggling. Next, let's go ahead and keep this ball moving. Our next card in our little circle around our center is the Ace of Swords. And as we remember from our Three of Swords, the swords are representative of air and intelligence. So let's see what the Ace of Swords represents. The ace signifies a breakthrough or new way of thinking. It is a great time to start a new project. Man, this thing is really talking about our moving. We had, you know, the little bit of grief and sadness from leaving. We've got meeting up with friends. We've got, you know, being compassionate and feeling other people's emotions and, you know, and going through all that. And now we're starting something new. Cool. Okay. A book about starting something new. So the next book that I'm choosing is The Tropics of Serpents, The Tropics of Serpents, a memoir by Lady Trent, authored by Marie Brennan, and this is the second book in the Memoir of Lady Trent series. So the synopsis of this one says, attentive readers of Lady Trent's earlier memoir, A Natural History of Dragons, are already familiar with how a bookish and determined young woman named Isabella first set out on the historic course that would one day lead her to becoming the world's most premier dragon naturalist. Now, in this remarkably candid second volume, Lady Trent looks back at the next stage of her illustrious and occasionally scandalous career. 3 years after her fateful journey through the forbidding mountains of Vistrania, Mrs. Camhurst defies family and convention to embark on an expedition to war-torn continent of Ariga, home of such exotic draconian species as the grass-dwelling snakes of the savannah, arboreal snakes, and the most elusive of all, the legendary swamp worms of the tropics. The expedition is not an easy one. Accompanied by both an old associate and a runaway heiress, Isabella must brave oppressive heat, merciless fevers, palace intrigues, gossips, and other hazards in order to satisfy her boundless fascination with all things draconian, even if it means venturing deep into the forbidden jungle known as the Green Hell, where her courage and resourcefulness and scientific curiosity will be tested like never before. So starting a new project, Marie Brennan's The Tropics of Serpents, the second Lady Trent memoir. Perfect. That was easy.
Staples, that was easy.
All right, let's do our last card and see where we're at. Do you see what I mean about these suits? No matter how many times I shuffle. Our last and final card is the King of Cups. So remember, this is associated with water, and the king represents full control of one's emotions and the ability to balance them with logic, and indicates someone who is mature and diplomatic. As a runner-up. Oh, you're sideways. Sorry about that. So this book was a runner-up last month for our tarot cards as another option. And this, of course, is the Health Switch by Delimhach. So this is about Finlay Ashwin, who joins the kitchen of the king and queen of Dexaria. And no one knows where he comes from. And he's just like happy doing what he's doing, but his secret identity didn't stay hidden very long, so people find out that he's a house witch, and he ends up meddling in imperial affairs. And I feel like he seems to be like a diplomatic sort of dude who is trying to help people here in this castle. So I feel like he would be a good, our character Finlay would be a good embodiment of the King of Cups. And I am also working my way through trying to do a cozy fantasy mega vlog where I read a bunch of them and let you know what I think. And so this one was one of the ones that I was going to eventually read. So let's add it onto the TBR again. It just feels so dense and so big right now, and thinking about the move, it's giving me a little bit of anxiety. But we're gonna put it on there. We're gonna try to make this happen for our King of Cups this month. And that is our final book. So just to wrap it up for us, we have, for our first card, is the Three of Swords, which focuses on heartbreak and grief, and we're going to be reading The Goodbye Cat by Hiro Arikawa for that particular card. For our Three of Cups, we're going to be taking a little bit of a spin on a friendly gathering and reading A Dangerous Collaboration, the 4th installment in the Veronica Speedwell series. For our Queen of Cups, we're going to be reading a nonfiction about Miss Jane Austen, who I think does embody a lot of the characteristics of the Queen of Cups card. For our 4th card, the Ace of Swords, we're going to be reading The Tropics of Serpents by Marie Brennan, the 2nd installment in the Lady Trent memoir saga, and she is going on a new expedition, starting a new project, so it fits in perfectly with that one. And finally, for our last card, we are going to be reading The House Witch, for whom we think Mr. Finlay probably represents the King of Cups, at least from what I'm reading into this story. So I'll let you know. But with that, we have picked our TBR for the month of June. I am actually really interested with how these cards laid out, because I do feel like they represent for us what our June's gonna be like. Like I said, you know, we're moving, we're leaving people behind, and that is always a sad thing. It's, you know, always bittersweet. But we will have opportunities to meet with our friends before we leave, and we do have friends back in Houston where we're moving back to, so it'll be good to see them all and spend time with them again. We are starting a new adventure because of our move, and then I think the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, you know, could represent me and my partner. So I feel like our little spread here was very relevant for what's going to be going on in June for us. But I would love to hear what you think. If you think that this reading of our tarot cards this month was pretty on point, what you think of the books I've selected, or feel free to just drop what books you're most anticipating reading here in the month of June. I'm gonna try to read as much as I can, but like I mentioned, it is going to be quite a busy month. But if you enjoyed, oh my gosh, so thank you so much for watching another tarot card TBR video. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stick around for some more Bookish and Nerds content, I would love for you to subscribe and hang around. I upload every Sundays and most Wednesdays. And until my next video, I hope you read a good book, I hope you find some joy, and most importantly, I hope that you do something to make the world a better place. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!